Welcome to Cosmic Compass. Here we explore the wonders and mysteries of our universe, from the planets and stars above to the powerful forces shaping life here on Earth. Every story we tell connects us back to the cosmos and reminds us that we are part of something far greater. Today let's turn our gaze toward Earth itself, where storms rise from warm oceans and grow into forces so powerful they can reshape coastlines and test human resilience. We're about to revisit one of the fiercest storms in recent memory, Cyclone Phailin, and uncover how such storms form, why they differ in name across the globe, and what they reveal about our dynamic planet. Earth has storms. Some of them appear massive to us, tearing across coastlines, uprooting lives and causing billions of dollars in damage. Yet in the grand cosmic scale, they are surprisingly small. If we look to Jupiter, the great red spot has been raging for centuries, large enough to swallow our planet whole. Suddenly the tempests on Earth feel like mere ripples. But for us humans, these storms are anything but trivial. They threaten lives and test our resilience. And so understanding how they form and behave is not just science, it's survival. Today let's journey into one of Earth's notorious cyclone hotspots, the Bay of Bengal, and revisit a storm that made history, Cyclone Phailin, which carved its path in October 2013. On October 8th, 2013, the Bay of Bengal appeared deceptively calm. But beneath that calm energy was gathering. A small atmospheric disturbance, little more than a depression, began to stir. Within just 2 days, it exploded in strength. By October 10th, the system had grown into a severe cyclonic storm, equivalent to a Category 1 hurricane, and then the real transformation began. Fueled by the warm waters of the bay, Phailin intensified rapidly. By October 11th, it had reached Category 5 strength and apex storm. At this level, winds roar at over 250 kilometers per hour, enough to flatten buildings and rip trees from the ground. Phailin became the second strongest storm ever recorded to make landfall in India. Imagine living in Odisha or Andhra Pradesh at that moment. Warnings blared, evacuations were underway, and millions of people anxiously watched the horizon. A storm that began as a speck had become a monster, barreling toward them with unstoppable force. But nature's fury doesn't last forever. Once Phailin struck land, it began to lose its fuel, the warm ocean. Friction against the land slowed its winds, weakening it by October 12th. By the 13th and 14th, it had dissolved into a low-pressure remnant, leaving behind a trail of destruction, but also lessons for meteorologists and disaster preparedness teams. Phailin wasn't alone. If we zoom out, the year 2013 marked one of the most active typhoon seasons in the Pacific in recent history. Satellite images from that period show Earth's surface dotted with massive spiraling systems, each carrying unimaginable power. The first to draw attention was Typhoon Nari, also known as Santi. It began in the Philippines, lashed the islands with torrential rain, then moved westward, striking Vietnam before fading. While Nari lost strength quickly, it still left communities devastated in its wake. Hot on its heels came Typhoon Wifa or Tino. This system reached Category 4 intensity, with winds strong enough to cause widespread flooding and structural collapse. For many in East Asia, it was one storm after another, giving little time to recover. Looking at these storms together, we see a world where nature seemed to conspire, unleashing cyclones and typhoons, almost simultaneously across entire oceans. It was one of the most destructive seasons in years, a sobering reminder that Earth's atmosphere is never truly still. Now let's take a step back. Imagine viewing Earth from space during this chaotic period. From afar, our planet looks serene swirls of white clouds dancing across a blue marble. But look closer, and you notice those clouds forming vast spirals, each one a storm strong enough to reshape lives on the surface below. It's a striking contrast. Earth, as a breathtaking jewel of the cosmos, and yet also a stage for forces powerful enough to humble humanity. Perhaps that is part of its allure. Beauty and fury perfectly intertwined. By now you might be wondering, why do we call some of these storms typhoons, others cyclones, and still others hurricanes? After all, they look the same from space. The answer is surprisingly simple. It all comes down to geography. In the West Pacific, we call them typhoons. In the Indian Ocean, they're cyclones. In the Atlantic and Eastern Pacific, they're known as hurricanes. That's it, same phenomenon, different names depending on longitude. There's also a fascinating twist of physics in the Northern Hemisphere. All of these storms rotate counterclockwise. In the Southern Hemisphere, they spin clockwise. It's the Coriolis effect at work, a subtle force of Earth's rotation that dictates the direction of a storm's spin. So how do these monsters come to life? In many ways, a tropical cyclone behaves like a giant engine. Its fuel isn't gasoline, it's warm, moist air rising from the ocean's surface. Here's how it works. 1. And over warm waters near the equator, moist air heats up and rises, leaving a low-pressure void behind. 2. Air from surrounding regions where pressure is higher rushes in to fill the gap. 3. That incoming air warms, collects moisture and rises too. 4. As it climbs, the water vapour condenses into clouds, releasing heat that powers the system even further. It's a self-sustaining cycle. The more heat and moisture available, the stronger the storm grows. From space, the system appears as a vast pinwheel of clouds, its eye calm but surrounded by walls of violent wind and rain. This is why tropical cyclones only form over warm seas, and why the Pacific, home to the warmest stretches of ocean, is the most prolific breeding ground. In a sense, the Pacific is Earth's great storm factory, churning out more tropical cyclones than anywhere else on the planet. Cyclone Phailin was a powerful reminder of how quickly nature can turn calm seas into chaos. Within days, a small disturbance became a life-threatening superstorm, testing the resilience of millions. And it was just one among many that season. As we've seen, these storms may be small compared to Jupiter's great red spot, but on Earth, their impact is enormous. They remind us of our planet's delicate balance, how life depends on ocean's weather and climate patterns that we can't fully control. So next time you see satellite images of a swirling storm, remember, you're looking at one of nature's greatest engines, fueled by the very air and water that sustain us. Our planet is beautiful, but it is also powerful. And in that balance of beauty and fury, Earth tells its most unforgettable stories. And that brings us to the end of today's journey. Cyclone Phailin and the storms of 2013 remind us that while Earth's tempests may be small compared to the storms of Jupiter here, they carry enormous weight. They challenge us, they humble us, and they teach us how fragile yet resilient we truly are. If you enjoyed this exploration, let's keep travelling together. Subscribe to Cosmic Compass and join us as we continue charting the mysteries of space, the planets, and the forces that connect us all. After all, the universe is vast, and every storm, every star, and every world is a story waiting to be told.